My life was at the bottom of despair. King Solomon wrote, "When you have great dreams and magnificent desires, and you can't find a way to reach them, it makes the heart sick. But when your dreams do come true," he said, "it's a tree of life." And it truly felt like I would never reach my dreams. Carol, we're back in the game. I know exactly what to do. I've got the game plan. Get everyone together on Monday for a meeting, and we'll go over everything. I've got all the details. I'll see you then. Today, I'm living my dreams.
Okay, so what we need to look at is at least the next 4 to 6, maybe 8 shows that are coming up. And I want to be able to do it to where we're having real people with real content. So who do we got?
Well, we've got a lot of folks we've been looking at. Okay. We absolutely have a lot of folks, but we've been talking about this a lot, and we really want to know what the goal is. What do you really want the viewing audience to get from these shows? What do you want the show to mean to them?
You know what? There's so much content out there that doesn't work. So we need to incorporate individuals who have real content that can bring value to the show and to the audience. That's what I'm looking for.
You know, I have to tell you, I think that really feels good to us because we've been talking about the fact that so many people want to get on the show, but they don't have a track record, and where's their information coming from? So we have been looking at a lot of different folks, and we're glad to hear that because we feel the same way, don't we?
Yeah. You definitely want to put somebody on here with a track
Give me
record.
some names. Who are we looking at right now?
Well, I got a lady from Australia. Her name's Janet Beckers.
Janet Becker. You know what? I've heard of Janet Becker. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I believe Kandee got some other ones.
There's some really great folks. You know, the question that we've been asking is do you want every person to have a track record?
Or are you looking for real people?
Or is it do you just want celebrities? What do you want?
I think that it's yes to all the questions, meaning, right?
Yeah.
We need some like real people.
Yeah.
We need some normal people, right? And if we can throw in a mix of somebody that's celebrity status, like, do we know any actors, any actresses that could come on board?
I have the perfect person for you. I'm so excited. You know Dee Wallace. Well, we all know who Dee
Yeah,
Wallace is.
sure.
Right? She's of major film and TV show fame. Yeah. Well, she's also an author and has some great teachings and has been doing some really great work out there. She'd be a great addition to the show.
Okay, has anyone contacted
we haven't.
her?
Can you get her number for me?
Oh, Miss, definitely, Kandee.
Okay.
I'll be right on top of that.
Okay, perfect. We'll get a hold of her. Yes, definitely.
So who else? Who knows about wealth creation, business entrepreneurship? You brought a file the other day to my desk. Who do we know that can create wealth?
Well, one person that I absolutely love, who's amazing, is Bill Walsh.
I like him.
promise you,
Yeah,
he won't disappoint.
really good.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right, good. I actually have his stuff right here. Awesome. Okay, great.
And the reason why we need to look at these and get these in order, wouldn't it be kind of weird if like I was in New York or something, like I got stuck and you guys would have to run the show? That would be weird.
That would be really weird.
That's okay. You would do the interviews.
Yeah.
Well, let's do this. Let's contact them. Let's get them in for an interview, their profile, follow up, see if they're wanting to do the show, and let's make it happen.
Sounds good.
Is there anybody that you particularly would really, really like to see in the show?
Again, you know what? This is a long shot, okay? But we're all big thinkers. Could we do Les Brown? Is there any way we can get him?
Oh, you tried, didn't you?
I did. He's very, very busy. He has a lot of schedules.
We put in every call we could.
Try.
He's I know, but he would be a great addition to the show.
Well, let's just say
All right.
we'll never give up, right?
Never know.
Yeah.
Let's see what we can do. All right.
Give it a shot. See what you can do.
All right.
And if it doesn't happen, then it doesn't happen.
All righty.
All right.
Sounds good.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Sounds like a
All
show.
right.
This is your power and your ability to create a clear, vivid, exciting mental picture of what you want to be and have and do sometime in the future. To change your life, you must dream big dreams. Only big dreams have the power to move your mind. And then you ask yourself this great question: to fulfill my dreams, what would be the first step that I would need to take? And whatever it is, take that first step in the direction of your dreams, and everything else will follow after that.
Welcome to another edition. I'm Jonathan Live, your host. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to be automatically successful, and then there are those that just cannot ever reach their dreams? Well, today we're going to explore that topic. We have our guest today, Dr. James Richards, author of over 15 books. He wrote a phenomenal book called Wired for Success, Programmed for Failure. Dr. Richards, it is good to have you today on our show.
Hey, it's great to be on the program.
Well, let's talk about wealth creation along these lines here. You know, people want to be financially independent. They want to create wealth and surplus in their life. And many people blame the economy. And I'm not saying that the economy right now is not challenging for many people. However, how does this affect, you know, the beliefs that we have in our heart? How does it affect us in wealth creation, entrepreneurship, business strategies?
You know, one of the main reasons I wrote this book was because I saw what was happening in the economy. And it's interesting, as I consult with and talk with business people around the country, I'm watching people who had millions of dollars go down the tubes.
Yeah.
And they're calling me up saying, I don't understand what's happening. This was working for me. The book points this out. Really, the book doesn't say this, but the book solves this problem. You see, in a good economy, we can really apply almost any generalized principle of success and experience a degree of success. I mean, you show up for work on time, you work hard.
Get a paycheck.
Yeah, some things are going to work for you. When the environment changes, when the economy changes, this is when we have to be able to live out of our sense of who we really are. This is where our intuitive nature takes over. This is where really we can be guided through the processes of life with a wisdom that is beyond what we know with our mind. Now, our mind will always be saying, the economy's bad, you know, you can't really do this. And my business, when the economy really started to tank, my income actually increased 57% in a 90-day window of time, and has increased consistently. And some people have said, well, what is the secret to this? And I'm like, there really isn't a secret,
right,
other than the fact that because I believe the truth about who I am. You know, we were created to live in success. We were created to enjoy life. In fact, everything that's here we're supposed to be enjoying. But intellectually or mentally, I'm looking at the economy and my mind is saying, you know, things are going bad. You better get ready for things to go bad. I'm looking at other people, and other people are having hard times. I'm thinking times are going to get hard for me. But then that's when I got to go back, get quiet, get in my heart, get in touch with who I am. Not just in touch with who I am, but get in touch with the voice of the Creator that's speaking inside me, saying, no, all these things are yours. You know, listen to my voice, listen to my wisdom. And so, you know, I want to teach people that they can have a success that's not dependent on the economy. If they believe the economy limits them, then that is their limitation.
You know, this subject is so powerful, and it's so life-changing transformation. We could talk for hours on it. For those of you that are viewing in, you want to make sure that you get the book, The Anatomy of a Miracle and Wired for Success. Dr. Richards, it has been great having you. We got to have you come back.
I'll look forward to it.
Wealth creation. How do we get it? How do we implement it? How do we transform it into our life? We're going to talk about that with our next guest right after this. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everybody. I'm your host, Jonathan Live. Wealth creation, what's it all about? You know, when it comes to business entrepreneurship, wealth creation, there really are no secrets, but there are some principles. Our next guest, America's business expert. Bill, it is good to have you on the show today.
Good to be here, thanks.
What keeps us going? What keeps individuals going when the challenge says stop, give up, quit?
The challenges are going to be there. That's the easy part. Everybody wants to quit. Right? They do because it's easy to quit. Right. I mean, even in the home-based business arena, if it was 500 to join and 50,000 to quit, nobody would ever quit.
Yeah.
Do you see, the problem is it's too easy to quit. And that's a challenge we have to face, and that's why it goes back to, you can't push a rope.
That's
it's not very
easy,
right?
Right.
But when you have a vision that's really strong and you're in alignment, it'll actually pull you. It'll inspire you every day to wake up early, go to bed late, and love what you're doing. I mean, I'm so blessed I get to travel around the world, inspire people, and share a great message of hope and inspiration and passion and belief, but it's not easy.
Right.
You know, there's lots of other choices. But when you get to a certain point that you really have absolute faith and belief in what you're doing, there's no room for fear.
Yeah.
It gets out of the way. And then you start to have the results, and of course, you know, all the naysayers say, it'll be so easy to be successful. I knew you'd be successful. Well, where were you when times were tough? You'll find that in the toughest times in your life, your good friends walk in, everybody else walks out.
Wow.
And here's one of the key things. If you want to get rid of all the negative people in your life, pull out your cell phone. Go through your cell phone, eliminate all the negative people on your phone. Literally, every one of them, get them off your phone. Because if you don't believe you're carrying the negative energy, you're crazy. And then you change your voicemail. So it says something like this. I'm making some major changes in my life right now. And if I don't call you back, you're obviously one of them.
I love it.
Because here's what happens. Negative people, that negativity that's out there, misery loves what?
Company.
They do, and they love your company. If you're inspired and you're passionate, they just can't wait to drag you down.
Yeah.
And you've heard that saying that garbage in, garbage what?
Out.
That's not true. It's garbage in and garbage stays.
Oh, I like that.
And where it stays, it pollutes.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, you've got to come from a higher place. You've got to tap into a source that pulls you and envisions something you believe in. See, I always ask people this question. I said, would you market the product or service you're a part of if there was no business opportunity attached? Which means, do you truly believe in what you're doing?
Sure.
Because if you don't, you're going to run in circles. And I see this all the time. People are so busy doing things they should never be doing. They don't realize, they say, I want to be a millionaire. I'm ready to be a millionaire. They don't realize that minimum wage for a millionaire is around $524 an hour. So if you look at all your daily habits and say, well, are all the things I'm doing at that high of a level or not?
Yeah.
And if they're not, what should you do? Get rid of them or
Yeah.
delegate them.
Right.
Find people that can play at things you have to work at. And then success will, it not only will show up, it'll pull you to success because you'll have no choice.
Well, you know, what you're sharing with our audience are absolute concrete principles that work. There's a lot of people out there promoting a lot of stuff, you know, that they're just basically blowing, you know, smoke up people's kazoo. But this stuff actually works if we apply it.
You have to apply it, and you have to have what's called a great DMO, a daily method of operation. I don't care who the leader is. You look at the company that they've created success in, they've all paid the price to get there. They all had to go through challenges, and you know, you might have to fail your way to success.
Yeah.
So if you've had a lot of failures, it's okay, you're not alone. I mean, we launched our Rainmaker course, gosh, more than 6 years ago. The intention was give people a weekend program where they could really work on their life and work on their business and really understand what does it take to build a 2-year success plan. And then get committed for a whole year. Because if you're looking for overnight get rich quick, go buy a lotto ticket.
Yeah, exactly.
Because in reality, get rich quick for most people means get broke faster.
Bill Walsh, the obvious. Make sure you get online, pick up his book. It will change your life. Bill, it was great to have you today.
Thanks for
We'll
having me.
have you back.
Absolutely. Been awesome.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
You know, it's so excited to have you here, to be part of the show, Les. It's just been so long since I've seen you. I know we've both been so busy, but where do you see the show is just one of the greatest things you'll ever be a part of?
Well, I'm excited about that, but I want to know, how's Katie doing?
Katie's great. She's not little Katie anymore. She's all grown up. She's not just your little cookie fairy anymore. Junior in college.
Fairy, yes.
Yeah.
Wow. And Dave?
It's amazing. Life is wonderful. Really, 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 things are great. And it's been a great opportunity for me to be able to be a producer on this show here with Jonathan. It's taken my skills and my speaking skills and all of those things really to another level.
What do you find most challenging about it?
Oh, the schedule. The schedule, and I would say some of the guests. Some of the guests are challenging. So promise me you won't be a challenging guest for Jonathan today.
No. Now, do you have guests who sometimes it's hard to pull stuff out of them?
Absolutely. You know, there's many times where that's the truth, but Jonathan's really great at what he does. And so, and you know what, the other piece is looking for the right type of folks for the show.
Yes.
It's not just having anyone come on to Jonathan Live, it's having people that are really going to make a difference to the listening audience, which is really amazing for me.
Now, what is his energy like in his interview style?
Oh, his interview style and his energy, he is very much about you, and he'll be very much about the things that you've done and bringing out the very best in you. His intention in his heart is, as big as this building.
Where do you see the major direction of the journey of where it's going in terms of the show and what you want people to walk away with?
is knowing that there's hope, and that there are tools for everyone, and that everyone really can live an amazing life. And if they will take some of these tools and to begin to use them, apply them to their lives, then they can have the things that, Les, what does everybody want? Right. Happiness, fulfillment. And what about you? What is it that you really want people to get from you being on Jonathan Live today?
Well, I was thinking about that. I think mainly what this next chapter of what my life is looking like in terms of what I want to do and the lives that I want to impact through other speakers rather than just my own voice, but helping to bring other voices out here. That's major for me.
Well, that's awesome, and I know that you certainly were a big part of my life and helping me do that. So what we're going to do is I'm going to, get the rest of the crew and get things set up so the show can be shot, and you're just going to love spending time with Jonathan. I'm so happy you're here today.
I'm happy to be here. So
good to see you.
Do you guys have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich for me?
I got no peanut butter and jelly for you today, babe. All right, sweetheart, you wait here, and folks will come get you set up.
Okay, I'm ready.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay, so what we need to do is we need to come up with something fresh for the show. It's got to be somebody that's going to be recognized.
That's not a problem. We've been working on some things. I think that you're going to be pretty happy, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, here's the thing. It can't be just anybody. It has to be somebody extraordinary.
Jonathan, you're going to be really happy.
All right. I'm going to trust you guys.
Hello, how are you?
Oh, my God. Is that Jonathan?
Yes, it is. How are you?
I'm doing well, and good to see you. We got to get you on Jonathan Live.
I'm excited about doing it. Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy is ready to go. I'm ready to go now.
Now. We have an extraordinary show for you today. If you ever needed to be motivated, today you're going to get motivated. We have legendary Les Brown. He's an international author, speaker. Les, it is so good to have you on our show today.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
You would always say a quote that has so inspired me for so long. You would say, when you stop fighting for what you want, then what you don't want automatically takes over.
Yes, life is a fight for territory. And once you stop fighting for what you want, what you don't want will take over and dominate you. So you have to keep on fighting.
Wow, there you go. Well, someone said that people are like elevators. They either bring us up or they bring us down.
Yes.
And I know in today's economy, people are struggling, and they're needing a message of hope. How can we give them hope?
I think it's very important for people to begin to develop an affirmation that will help to strengthen them during tough times. And I look at my own life, and I just finished winning my second round with the little C. And 15 years ago, when I was first diagnosed with cancer, it was a traumatizing experience for me. One, I couldn't believe it was me. And the second thing is that I've started asking myself, what am I going to do with my life now, and how am I going to handle this? And in the prevailing culture, people, when you say cancer, it's the most feared word in 7 different languages.
Right.
And so no one ever want to hear the 3 words, you have cancer. So the second time around, when that experience happened to me 15 years later, it was not the same thing. It did not have the same kind of impact. My mindset was that once again, this is a fight, and this time I'm going to really kick cancer's butt. In fact, I'm taking so many herbs and doing so many things. People in a 5-mile radius who live near me have been talking about the fact they've been having spontaneous healings. Cancer saying, this is a fool, he's about to kill us and everybody, so they're moving out the neighborhood. And so what I realized is that I read something that really energized me when I was at the hospital and after the diagnosis, that said that in life, that when you have a teeth-rattling experience and the very foundation of your life has been shaken, we run to God only to discover that it's God that's doing the shaking. And so when I look at this opportunity, something Dexter Yeager said, no test, no testimony. And I have been working with cancer support groups doing a speech called You're More Powerful Than Cancer. Is as if God said, prove it again. Okay. So we have to see life as a project. It's a character-building experience, that the things that we face, they're not there to defeat us. They're there to strengthen us and introduce us to ourselves. Charles Udall said in life, you will always be faced with a series of God-ordained opportunities, brilliantly disguised as problems and challenges. And when you look at it from that perspective, it gives you a sense of power that I can handle this, and you must affirm to yourself as you are growing through the experience rather than just going through it, no matter how bad it is or how bad it gets, I'm going to make it. And I think that people need to affirm that. If you're unemployed for a prolonged period of time, if you're going through a divorce, if you're going through an illness, if you're going through any kind of setback in life, your self-explanatory style is what psychologists talk about. We've got to say to ourselves, no matter how bad it is or how bad it gets, I'm going to make it.
Oh, man. Well, you have inspired millions. You are inspiring millions of people around the globe. We appreciate all the work that you're doing. We know that God has got great, magnificent things ahead of you. And just keep on motivating us because we need to hear your message.
Thank you. Well, I tell you, one of the exciting things about training and developing these new young speakers is that they're giving me a run for my money. They're saying, oh, man, look out, we're breathing down your neck. And one of the things I always say to them, a young broom sweep clean, but an old broom nowhere to go.
That is so awesome.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Jonathan Light with Les Brown. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We are talking today about the power to create wealth in your life. Hey, have you ever thought that you were in a position that there didn't seem like what you were doing was going to create the wealth that you want? Well, today, our next guest, Myron Golden, is an extraordinary speaker, author. He really is the man that went from the trash man to the cash man. Let's pick his brain. Myron, it is good to have you on there.
It's good to be here, Jonathan. Thank you for the invite. I'll tell you what, I'm looking forward to it.
Wow. So let me tell you this. Your book, tell me the title.
From the trash man to the cash man.
I love it.
How anyone can get rich starting from anywhere. And truly, I used to be a trash man. I made $6.25 an hour, went from $6.25 an hour to six figures a month. And now I've got students that are duplicating that.
You know, one of the things that I enjoy that you're talking about is because all of these strategies produce what I call the R factor, and that's results.
Absolutely.
You know, I don't want to hear what you got to say. Show me what it can do for me out here in the forefront. And I think that's what people are looking for, especially in the 21st century, because we're on overload, information overload. But these strategies that you're talking about is absolutely concrete. Now, is this what you use, go from the trash man to the cash man?
It's exactly what I use going from the trash man to the cash man, and it's exactly what I've used for my clients. I can think of one guy in particular right now. He had a business. It was struggling. In fact, he was over $1 million in debt. Showed him a couple of these strategies, how to put them together, and now he's making millions of dollars a year in just 3 years' time. Went from $1 million in debt to millions of dollars per year because these strategies work. You know, it's interesting that all principles always work the same for everybody. Principles don't care how tall you are, how short you are, how much you weigh. They don't care what color you are, what gender you are. All principles always work the same for everybody. And that's the beauty of principles.
Well, let me ask you this. Let's talk about our thoughts for just a little bit.
Oh, I'm glad we're going into this one.
Okay, how important are our thoughts?
Our thoughts really are vitally important to everything we do. Do you know most people talk themselves out of what they could have and what they should have? I practice a principle, and I'm going to, if I could get the people watching this video right now to practice the principles of thought replacement, because there's really only one thing that ever really stops us. Would you like me to share with you what that is? The only thing that ever stops us is called worry. It's also called anxiety. It's also called fear. But here's what I call it. I call it the anxious apprehension of the thing we don't desire. What do I mean by that? In our mind, we are all the greatest movie producers of all times. And we create these movies in our head of things we don't want, and then we go out and we act like it's already happened, and our hands sweat, and our hearts palpitate, and we go through all of this anxiety, and we can't sleep, and we're like, ah, and we have these emotional breakdowns. People call them anxiety attacks. Well, that's what's really happening. We're creating this movie. And it's all made up. None of it's happened yet, so it's we made it all up. But we see it so clearly that it causes us to have a physical reaction to an emotional thought. Here's what we have to learn to do. And this all came from Scripture, by the way. It's amazing. We have to learn to replace the anxious apprehension of the thing we don't desire with the joyful anticipation of the thing we do desire. In other words, I've got to see what I want happening. I've got to get happy about it as if it already happened. And I've got to replace the previous thought of anxiety with that new thought of joyful anticipation. I'm a kid on Christmas Eve, waiting for tomorrow morning because I already know what I'm getting. I snuck in the basement and I saw it.
You saw Santa Claus, put it in there.
That's what's up. So,
Myron Golden, ladies and gentlemen, what an extraordinary individual. teaching us all how to turn our business into million-dollar enterprises. My mentor told me this one time, Jonathan, the only difference between a wealthy man and a poor man is his method of thinking. We'll be right back. Hey everyone, welcome to today's show. I'm your host, Jonathan Live. Taxes, are they our friend or are they our foe? That's what we're going to find out on today's show. But first, have you ever came to a point and place in your life where you needed an absolute breakthrough? Well, today, live on our show, we have Dr. Breakthrough coming here and going to share with us some extraordinary principles. Dr. Stan Harris, he is an author, he is an international speaker, he is a 10th degree black belt, and he's an evangelist extraordinaire. Dr. Harris, it is good to have you on our show and our program today.
Well, thank you.
Excuses, why do people offer them?
Wow, excuses, by the way, tools of incompetence, used to build mountains of nothingness, and those that subscribe to them seldom amount to be anything. And I used to use my energy to make excuses, and I made good ones. They were so good, I believed in myself.
And that's, yeah, they're so good, I believe them.
Right, I was in a state of denial, D-E-N-I-A-L, don't even know I am lying. But then one day, listen, I made a shift. And I said, all of a sudden, I'm going to use my energy to make progress. And it was so much better. So excuses, it's easy to do that. But again, if we just make a little shift from making excuses to making progress, we feel a lot better about ourselves, and also we end up making money as well and making a lot of things in our life change.
Wow. So that's really the epitome of going from the area of just not accomplishing anything in our life and using these strategies to accomplish anything that we want in our life.
It takes one person, one decision, or one action to change your life forever. You are that person, you must decide, and you must take action.
Wow, that is powerful. Now, on your book, I want to get a close-up shot of this on the book here. Your breakthrough is guaranteed. Now, you're breaking some bricks right here.
Yes, sir.
Now, tell me about this demonstration when you do that.
Well, the bricks represent the hard things in our lives. See, between where you are and where you want to be, there's always barriers. The amount of money a person makes and what they want to make, in between is barriers. The kind of relationships, everything like they have and what they want, in between is always barriers. Most people shrink back from the barriers. Successful people break through. So I write on those bricks things like fear, false expectations appearing real, limiting beliefs, all these different things that try to stop us, lack of goals, all these different things, being poor, poor, putting obstacles over riches. And the opposite of poor is rich, raking in cash happily, yes. But anyway, so I stack up these bricks, and it's a symbol of all these hard things, but in the focus and training, we can break through the hard things to the success we desire and deserve.
Wow. Well, here's the whole thing that's so interesting. People can talk about things, but we are going to see you actually break these bricks, show a demonstration right here on Jonathan Live. We'll be right back. Wealth creation. When we're talking about building wealth in our life, there are some components, there are some strategies that we all use. Our next guest, Katrina Ferguson, is an extraordinary individual that has much experience in the power of success. We're going to delve into her genius. We're going to talk about leadership. What is leadership? As someone once said, if you're a leader and nobody's following, you're simply taking a walk. Katrina, it is so good to have you on our show today.
It's great to be here. Thanks for having me, Jonathan.
Someone once said that people will give up on a business, but they won't give up on a family.
Absolutely. I say that all the time. It's easy to leave a business, but it's hard to leave a friend.
Yeah. So we know that people are counting us. We owe it to our families. We owe it to our children. We owe it to our brothers and sisters to succeed.
Absolutely, we do. We absolutely do. And there are some gifts and that are within each and every one of us that unless we surrender those gifts, certain things won't even happen here. Wow. I know one of my mentors also says that the wealthiest place in the world is the graveyard, because that's where we go. We die with our gifts and talents inside us. And I tell everyone, you've got to make a decision. Decide even now, today, to get clear about your why and decide that whatever is necessary for you to achieve it, to live it, that's exactly what you're going to do. Yeah. I mean, the root of the word decide is desire. It means to kill all other options. You hear it in infanticide. You hear it, in homicide. It means it's over. So when you decide, that means there is no other option. Doesn't matter what happens, what comes your way, you're going to go through it. You're going to grow through it, if only to be able to tell someone else how to get through it.
Yeah. So quitting is not an option.
Quitting is never an option. Quitters never win, winners never quit.
I love that.
Quitting is never an option.
Well, you made a statement that the graveyard is the biggest treasure chest on the planet. A lot of people have died and buried their books with them and music. But I know that you authored a book. In fact, you've had, how many books have you authored?
I've authored two myself,
books.
yes.
Okay. In fact, we have one right now called Footnotes. And it's an extraordinary book. I was looking through that. And it's 31-day guide for leadership.
Yes, it's designed with women in mind, and what it does is it takes certain leadership principles and it compares them to certain types of shoes. So for instance, we talk...
Oh man, my wife's gonna love that.
And most women do. When they see the book, it's like, oh, shoes, I gotta get it. So for instance, when you talk about vision, we compare that to like a peep toe pump, because you can't really see it all. You can get a little glimpse of the foot that's in the shoe. And we talk about how we have to have vision to be good leaders. Because if you consider yourself a leader, there's one sure test to find out. When you turn around and look behind you, is anybody following you?
There you go.
Because if they're not, you're simply taking a walk.
That's exactly right. Wow. And I know that you had Les Brown do your foreword.
Yes, Les Brown has been a mentor of mine probably, I mean, for years and years and years now. He did the foreword in Footnotes as well as my initial book, Celebrate the Power and Your Right to Choose.
Wow. Well, there you go. An individual who had a dream that put action behind the dream and came up with Footnotes. Make sure you get this book, get all the strategies, and make your life go to the top. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Taxes, are they our friend or are they foe? You know, taxes is so important that we wanted to bring in a wealth strategist and experts, because when it comes to entrepreneurship, when it comes to life itself, we live in a world of taxes. And so without the understanding of having proper taxes, there's been a lot of good people that ended up in the pokey, and we don't want to do that. So today, our guest is Tina Frizzell Jenkins. She's an entrepreneur, an amazing woman that is doing great things in the world of business, but best of all, she knows about business and taxes. Tina, it is so good to have you on our program today. You know, a lot of people, when it comes to taxes, we're just kind of blindsided and we put it into people's hands. But I remember lots of times when I put things in people's hands and I got all messed up.
Absolutely, Jonathan. First of all, thank you for having me on the show. I'm so excited to be here.
So I also know that you are an author and you wrote a great book, The Coach's Journey.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that.
The Coach's Journey, I'm actually a co-author in, and that's a book about individual struggles getting to where they want to be. Dr. Breakthrough talked about breaking through challenges, and this is what this is about. These are coaches who broke through challenges. But the other great thing about that book is that a lot of times folks are not familiar with what a life coach does, what an empowerment coach does, what a leadership coach does, what an energy coach does. And that book breaks it down for you.
Wow. Let me ask you this. Is this a business write-off?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so everyone should be an author because it is a business write-off.
That is a business write-off because it's a tool for you to learn how to improve yourself. And anytime you gather tools, take seminars, buy equipment, all those sorts of things become tax deductions when you have a business.
Wow. Okay, as we come to a close, tell me one or two of the most important things that we need to know about taxes.
The couple of things that you really need to know about taxes is that taxes are your friend. They can actually help you to increase the monies in your pocket if you learn how to play the rules.
Wow.
It's a game.
It is a game.
But you have to know the rules, because if you don't know the rules, the chances are you're going to lose. These are real savings, real deductions we're talking about. And that's my next book that's coming out, Real Savings, Real Deductions. I'm so excited about it because it tells you how to play the game to win.
Wow, that is so powerful. So there you go. Learning the rules and knowing that taxes are your friend. We'll be right back. Here we go. I promised you that you were going to have your demonstration of a breakthrough right here, right now on Jonathan Life. Dr. Stan, breakthrough, what are we doing here?
Man, we're going to break through some barriers. See, barriers were not made to stop us. Barriers are made to be broken. So physically, each one of these boards have things written on we have to break through. Like, for instance, limiting beliefs. Right in the middle of the word beliefs is a three-letter word called a lie. So whenever you believe a lie, you live a very limiting lifestyle. Thinking that I can never be successful because I grew up in a single-parent home, got tarred and feathered as a 6-year-old boy. Everybody has limiting beliefs. We're going to break through those, and I want you to hold this because I don't want just to be a spectator. I want you to be a participator. Come on now. Yes, sir. So you're going to hold that and just step back here a minute. We're going to kick that limiting beliefs, okay? Here we go. Each one of these is going to hold these, and we're going to break through them. All righty? You just hold it tight. Here we go. Please. 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 Yes. 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 can break through too. Okay, now Jonathan, this is the final piece. Okay. Now you've seen me break these bricks. It's incredible, right?
Oh man, yeah.
But you know what? As a mentor, here's one of the things I want to show you. Have you ever broken a board before?
No.
Not until now.
Until now.
Not until now. And here's the thing I want you to understand. If I could break all those bricks, then I'm going to have you break a board. Oh. But the board is not what you're going to break. Okay. It's whatever's trying to keep you back. Okay. So I want you to write on that board, whether it's fear, comfort zone, whatever it is, just write on that board one of the things that's trying to hold you back or keep you from your success.
All right, I'm going to write it down here.
Okay.
Here we go.
Fear.
Fear.
All righty. Now real quick, I'm a 10th degree grandmaster, okay?
Yep.
And so here's what I'm telling you. If you were me, could you break this board?
If I was you?
If you were me.
Yeah, if I was you, I could do that.
So the power invested in me, I now put it in you. Seriously.
Oh.
I will not have you do anything I didn't believe you can do.
Okay.
So I'm going to have you break this board. You've never done it before.
I never did. This is real stuff.
It's really simple. This is called the palm heel strike.
Yeah.
I'm going to have you come straight down right in the middle of this board, okay? And I'm going to have you yell right when you hit it, okay? We're going here. You're going to break through that. Now, one last question. If you break through fear, what will you get?
Oh, victory.
Victory. Okay? So let's put victory. All right, so here's the main thing. I don't even want you breaking fear. I really want you hitting toward victory.
All right.
So break to victory, and when you break to victory, you automatically break through fear. So Jonathan, you've never done it before?
I've never done this.
I want you to stand right over top of it, and right before you hit, I want you to yell, Kia! Hit that thing, hit it hard, and that board's going to break, representing you're breaking through your fear to your victory.
All right.
Come on now.
Are you ready?
Yes, sir. Here we go.
Here
ready?
we go.
Hit that thing. Come on, Jonathan. Break it. Ready?
You see, your mind is very powerful and it has this unique ability to be pre-programmed. If you make a decision in advance that I will never give up, that is programmed into your subconscious mind, and when you actually face the adversity or the problem, you will be ready. Your ability to persist in the face of adversity, more than anything else, will guarantee your success.
Jonathan. Jonathan, you have a sec?
Sure, come on in.
Thanks. Hey, Jonathan, thanks. My name's Bobby Donahue.
Hey, Bobby.
I've been waiting back here. I was hoping to catch you on the way out, and I just want to ask you, how can I be on your show?
What do you do?
Well, I'm the creator of a reality web TV show called Be a Rock Star.
Okay.
And I'm also the co-creator of an educational DVD series called Planet Bonehead, where we teach kids about the environment.
All right. You know, Bobby, it's great to have a dream. It's really good to have businesses, but you need to have more than that. You have to have the ability to overcome fear.
Well, I used to be a firefighter.
Firefighter?
Mm-hmm.
Tell you what, send me your tape.
All right, thanks, I will.
Okay.
Now the fact is that the greatest single enemy of your success or any success is fear. Stepping out in faith, taking a chance, going forward when there are no guarantees of success is what you will have to do all your life if you want to be a great success. Courage is not absence of fear, it is control of fear, mastery of fear, acting courageously whenever courage is required.
Welcome back, everybody. Our first guest, Dr. Larry Lee, best-selling author of a book on prayer that has been translated in 21 languages and has been a bestseller for over 25 years, sold millions of copies. We're going to talk to him today. We're going to tap into his genius and all that he's doing. Dr. Larry Lee, it is so good to have you on our program today.
I want to shake your hand, Jonathan, and thank you for this incredible opportunity and to tell you this concept of transformational thinking is actually doing exactly what you designed it to do, and I want to be someone to say thank you.
Oh, I thank you very much. You know, there's so much to all of this. In fact, I want to talk a little bit about your book on prayer because it has done such a worldwide phenomenon. And we were talking here a while back, and you told me something about Oral Roberts that I want you to share that with us.
Well, I'd become friends with Oral Roberts simply because I'd spoken on campus at Oral Roberts University. Sure. And he had heard about me through another friend named Kenneth Copeland.
Okay.
And Brother Copeland had given Brother Roberts a 7-tapes series that I'd done on prayer. I thought it was just for me and my congregation, and by then our congregation was burgeoning from 14 people, and over the course of the first 10 years we were well over 10,000 members. Amazing. It really was amazing to me and everyone else. And Brother Roberts came one snowy night to hear me speak, and this is what he said. He walked over, and of course when I saw him walk in the room, I knew who he was. He walked over and said, "I'm Oral Roberts." And I just looked up and said, "I know." And then, then you know, it was kind of shocking. And then I stood up and he said, "I've listened to all 7 of your tapes 7 times. I've listened to you 49 hours, and you changed my prayer life." He said, "I've come to hear you speak tonight." And that's when my butterflies became buzzards, as I like to say. And that was the evening he stood up, put his hand on me after the service in front of about 4,000 or 5,000 folks. And he said, "This young man is an apostle of prayer and will be all the days of his life." Later, he was the first one to read the manuscript that finally was written on prayer. Yeah. And he told me, he said, "Dr. Lee," he said, "this book will be a bestseller for your entire life, no matter what you do with your life." And I said to Oral Roberts, I said, "Brother Roberts, thank you, but you don't need to flatter me." Yeah. And then he said back, he said, "Oral Roberts only says what Oral Roberts means." And now looking back 25 years, I realize this man of God who's now looking down from heaven at us truly was a prophet of God.
He told the truth.
He did tell the truth, and that was what he was famous for, quite frankly.
Wow. You know, it was a number of years ago I heard you speak, and you were speaking to an audience of probably 10,000 plus, and you were speaking on a subject called shame. And man, I want to tap into that right now because that is such a powerful, profound subject, because shame, I think, holds us all back.
Most people never make a distinction between guilt and shame. Mm-hmm. They never see that there is a difference. And the fact that once we admit our transgressions or our faults, which we all have, we are immediately forgiven, and we have no right then to remember what God says He has forgotten. We breathe in that forgiveness, we accept it and forgive ourselves, and then we choose to give it to others. But still, there's something hanging around like a chain pulling us back into the past. And I began to investigate that at a turning point in my life. And I'm convinced there are people listening right now, and you know you're at a turning point in your life. And I pray for you today that this little message will go into your heart. Because, Jonathan, I'll tell you, it absolutely revolutionized me and everyone I've shared it with through these years now. Soon it will be a book called Instead of Your Shame. God promises to give you double everything that said shame on you. He's going to give you double honor, double resources, double influence.
You know, Dr. Lee, this is a subject we got to have you back on the show because we could talk for weeks and never exhaust this topic of shame that will revolutionize and set people free.
So true.
We appreciate you being on the show.
Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, when it comes down to living your life and living the dreams that you were created to fulfill, I want you to take this message that Dr. Lee shared with us and break the shame barrier over your life. And when you do that, then life will have no limits for you. Our next guest is Dr. Glenn Curry, an extraordinary man that has some great secrets. We're going to tap into his genius, and we're going to come back right now and listen to what he's got to say. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Jonathan Live. Our next guest, Dr. Glenn Curry, author of over 25 books, has done some amazing and extraordinary things in his life. We're going to tap into his genius right now. Dr. Curry, it is good to have you on the program.
Jonathan, I am so excited to be with you. I know that people's lives are going to be helped today.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, back, I think it was in 1975, something happened to you. I want you to tell us a little bit about that.
In 1975, I was having what I felt like was serious medical problems.
Sure.
So I went to the Kaiser Hospital in Hollywood, California, and the doctors at Kaiser gave me 2 years to live.
Wow.
They said I had a very serious heart condition and that my prognosis was at the most I would have 2 years to live.
There are so many people out there that have a spiritual awakening.
Yes.
But they can't articulate that or transfer that into the world of business or entrepreneurship or financial structure. I like to call it financial health. Okay, how can one take a spiritual mindset? And by the way, I do believe that the Bible is the greatest success book on the planet.
Sure.
You know, in fact, today's scientists, the quantum physics, you know, are telling us now about matter and energy. Well, Solomon said 5,000 years ago that as a man or a woman thinks in their heart, so they become. So why are we so amazed now that the physicists are telling us, you know, this when we were told long ago? But going back to you, how can an individual take their words or their thoughts and transform it into a business or a book? You've done 25 books now.
Right. Jonathan, the same principle that got me healed gradually and permanently is that I use for healing can be used for peace, can be used for relationships, can be used for prosperity. You know, if you ask the average school teacher or the average coach, even the average pastor, why does insufficiency exist in the body of Christ or among great people?
Yeah.
They will say, well, it's the economy, it's circumstances, it's their upbringing, it's heredity, maybe a generational curse, or it's God's will, or it's the devil. None of those are the right answer.
Those are just excuses.
Those are just excuses. Poverty only exists because so many people contain what I would call a poverty mentality.
Okay.
And so when you change that mentality, then your circumstances change. You know, God said that He would do exceeding abundantly above all we ask or think according to the power that works in us. And everybody hears that verse from Ephesians 3:20, and they say, well, I can think big. I'm a big thinker. I can ask big because God's going to do exceeding abundantly above all we ask or think. So in 2 minutes in prayer, we think of something marvelous. Maybe it's a career. Maybe it's a new home. Maybe it's more money or more happiness. We think of that for 2 minutes and we ask big, the biggest we can in that 2 minutes, and we say, see, God's going to do exceeding abundantly above what all we ask or think. But it's not what we ask or think in 2 minutes of the day.
Yeah.
It's what we think the other 23 hours and 58 minutes.
Yeah, that's the problem there.
And so we ask for success, but we think failure the rest of the time. We ask for healing, but we think how sick we are. We ask for increase in our finance and to have our needs met, and yet we think about lack and insufficiency. So we're sending two signals. I'm on radio, so I know about this. We're broadcasting two signals.
Right.
In prayer, we're broadcasting a signal that we want abundance, but the rest of the day in our thinking, we're broadcasting, I don't deserve abundance.
Okay.
It's not for me. I only have lack. I only have sickness. I only have bad relationships. So we've got to cause our thinking to be renewed so that it matches the signal that we're sending in prayer.
Wow, that is awesome. And you know, this is why I enjoyed you so much on the show, because you help us think about life and you help us to embrace our journey. Our very next guest, Dr. Dallas Humble, a man that has done extraordinary things. We're going to tap into his genius in just a moment. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everybody. Our next guest, Dr. Dallas Humble. He's a best-selling author, international speaker, and a man that has tremendous insights that I want for us to pick his brain and help us think about our journey. Dr. Dallas, it is good to have you.
It's good to be here. Thank you very much.
How do we get out of that place where we say, man, I just don't have any hope?
The day that our memories become larger than our dreams, our soul begins to shrink.
Wow, that's powerful.
We can't allow our soul to shrink. We have to keep on moving forward. If everyone can realize this one thing, and I know that there are hurting people watching this broadcast. There are hurting people that are listening to this interview. They're everywhere. I was there.
Sure.
I've gained and lost wealth 3 times in my life. I've had a house burned down before my very eyes, had 3 children beside me, had nowhere to go. I've been through all of that stuff in life that can throw us backwards, but we have a choice. And that is, do we allow that crisis to become a ruin, or do we take that crisis and make a learning experience from it? And it really is a choice.
Yeah.
But there are times when we're moving forward persistently that we still don't see the light.
Yeah,
that we're continuously in the darkness. But I know this, as long as I'm moving forward, as long as I'm looking ahead, eventually I have got to arrive somewhere different than where I'm at. And if I'm moving forward in the right direction, with the right attitude, speaking the right words, keeping hold of what I consider to be the most important thing, and that is the Word in my heart, and doing the things I need to do and speaking truth, I'm eventually going to get to a place of success.
Wow.
So I would say to that person who is in that muck, who is in that tunnel, so to speak, do not give up. Winston Churchill said it so great years ago.
Right.
Never, 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 ever give up.
Right.
Do not give up. The minute you give up is when everything will stop for you. If you'll continue to go forward, and you can research this with every successful person that's out there, they're going to tell you the same thing. I could have given up. I could have said I couldn't make it. I could have said yes to what the doctor said. I could have said yes to what someone said when I lost everything financially. I could have said yes when the person put shame on me. I could have said yes to all of that. But no, I'm going to say no to it, and I'm going to keep on moving forward.
Wow. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere, and we'll be right back.
You know, isn't it amazing what Jonathan has been able to accomplish in the last year?
You know what's really amazing is that when he found those letters from his grandfather, instead of just reading them and holding them as mementos or discarding them, he took them to heart and he applied the principles to begin to create the life of his dreams. I agree, it's absolutely amazing.
But do you know how many people will find something and they'll look at it and they'll just say, oh, wow, I could do this, but never take the steps and action to take it, to take it to the next level.
And that's why I so admire Jonathan right now for what he's doing. Because what he's doing is he's bringing to the viewing audience, he's bringing principles and tools.
Oh, hold that thought. It's Jonathan.
Oh.
Hi, Jonathan.
You're not going to believe this.
Okay.
I'm not going to make the show. I think that it was the battery in the Benz that went out, and I cannot get a tow truck out here for 3 hours. So you're going to have to call Kandee, get a hold of her, and she's going to have to do the show.
Okay, we'll do what we need to do.
If you need anything else, give me a call back.
Okay. All right. Bye-bye.
What happened?
You're not going to believe this.
What happened?
We were just talking about this the other day when we were having a discussion about there's a possibility of Jonathan not making it to the show.
Jonathan's not making it to the show.
He asked if you could take it. Apparently his car's broken down and he's not going to make the show.
Wow.
So.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you know what, Melinda? Don't worry about it. I can do it. I can absolutely do it. It's not a problem. We'll get it done. Was he upset?
No, he was actually pretty darn happy.
Well, you know
what?
what?
Not happy, but at least he wasn't like screaming.
But you know what? That's part of what he's learned. How to manage obstacles and how to maneuver through even when things get tough. Yeah. That's like I was saying, I'm so proud of him for the people that he really wants to bring to other folks, to share a real message of real transformation and real change.
Yeah.
I couldn't be happier to be working here with him and his production.
Well, discouragement is just another obstacle, right?
There you go, there you go. I guess we've got a show to do.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right.
Your life will be a continuous succession of problems and difficulties. They will come over and over again, and they never stop. Your ability to persist in the face of adversity more than anything else will guarantee your success. I succeeded because I refused to give up. I would never give up.
Welcome back. This is Kandee G in for Jonathan Live. And I'm so excited to continue our show today because we have got some wonderful women that are going to share some amazing stories and real tools for success. first up, I've got Janet Beckers from Australia. What a long way you've come. How exciting that you've come to be here with us. And you've got an incredible organization called Wonderful Web Women.
Yes.
It's very exciting. Tell us a little bit about what Wonderful Web Women does.
Well, Wonderful Web Women actually started as a search for role models to find the most successful women in the world who had created success on the internet. And when I started, it was just going to be like for a few weeks, you know, just have a program, do a few interviews, find some inspiring women, with the whole intention that the people who were drawn to listen, somebody would resonate with them, that they would find a woman that they thought, you know, she's like me, and if she did it, well, I can do it as well.
The services that you provide is very timely right now. Women need it, and they need to understand that I can have a business. And if you have a web-based business, you can be home with your children.
Absolutely. And I think that's why this is such an important thing for women. Women are drawn to being able to build a business on the internet because they want to have that extra freedom. That's why the women are drawn to learn from me. And I keep on saying women, it's Wonderful Web Women, but interestingly, you look at our membership, we're 10% of men.
Interesting.
Because they recognise that women have a different way of doing business, which is very much about collaboration, very much about supporting each other. And that is the whole ethos behind Wonderful Web Women, is actually facilitating people to be able to help each other.
Which I think is a wonderful way to do business. When people are starting out on the internet and they say, I want to have a web-based business, where do you find people get hung up the most?
It's very tempting to try to go down the path that actually doesn't suit your personality. Once you really tap into what you love, that song that's in your heart.
So you're really talking about teaching folks how to find their passion, whether it's what they're selling or doing or the service they're giving online, but to find their passion or why they're passionate about it. And that once you hit that hard wall, you've got that energy, that drive that you need to get through.
And you know, you don't have to be an expert in the particular topic because, you know, I wasn't when I started out. I was going on a journey and taking people with me. But what I was an expert at, which without even realizing it, was what I do naturally is I love stories. I love listening to people's stories. You know, I can't help but, you know, when I've been meeting the cast here, I want to know all their stories. And the same thing is, you know, people have a different way. Some people are great at communicating through words. Other people are great at a very systematic approach to things. So it's finding, you know, what is it that is the way that you do it, but then approaching that in the way that you do your business.
Now what we're going to do is we're going to take a little break and we're going to bring on another wonderful woman and share some more great tools for success in creating real money and abundance. We'll be right back. Welcome back. This is Kandee G hosting for Jonathan Live. And what we're talking about today is we're talking about women in business and being successful in business. And we have, along with Janet Beckers, we now have entrepreneur and author Milana Leshinsky. How do you go about creating multiple streams of income? I mean, if somebody is listening to this show today, watching the show today, and they're going, well, okay, that sounds great. I would love to have multiple streams of income. How do you go about looking and finding those multiple streams of income and knowing that they're going to work for you and generate the kind of money, the capital that you want?
Well, you know, what's interesting is as soon as I say multiple income streams business, people think, okay, well, I'm a fitness professional. How do I monetize that? There's no way for me to really train somebody without personally being there. And what I say is don't monetize your service. Don't monetize your process, monetize what you know. It's not what you do, it's what you know about what you do. I mean, everybody knows something about a particular topic that solves somebody else's problems.
Are we talking about selling information?
Absolutely. Selling information is a part of that, but also really leveraging your time, leveraging your expertise in a way that allows you to deliver it to a group of people. So I talk about active income, leveraged income, passive income, recurrent income. And most people are really stuck in the active income where they're working with somebody one-on-one or they're trading really their personal time for money.
Okay, so I like this conversation of passive income because that just sounds like income for not a lot of work. So what are we talking about when we're talking about passive income?
Passive income is when you actually sell something, but you don't have to deliver the service. Things like home study courses, audio programs, video programs, you know, any information products, membership programs where you just sell and you don't have to deliver it. I remember, you know, after getting a client for my web design business, I would be first ecstatic. I got a client, I'm just thrilled. And then I would sit back and think, okay, now I got to design the website. All this work has to go into it. The first time I sold my product, my ebook, I was lost. I didn't know what to do at that point because I was so used to asking myself, okay, what do I do now to deliver it? And the coolest thing was that it was immediately downloadable. Somebody paid the money and they could immediately, instantly get the product. So that's really passive income, is where you sell something but you don't have to deliver it. And then there is recurring income. That's where you sell something once and the money continues to come into your bank account every month. So the customer does not need to make a buying decision every single month. That's the best kind of income you want to create.
Well, I want to thank you both. It's been so exciting having wonderful, successful women here on Jonathan Live, and I so appreciate Jonathan for giving me the opportunity to host this episode of Jonathan Live. Thank you for being with us today, and we'll see you next time.
There's a list here of some speakers and some authors that Jonathan would like for you to take a look at. So the list is here.
Hey, my two favorite people.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. What do you guys do? Are you working on the show?
Yes.
We're on the show. Excellent. You get the cha-cha dancers?
Yes.
Okay. I found a new product that I want us to highlight and take a look at. Okay. It's a product called XP3 from a company called Fuel Direct. Okay. It's a gas additive. Matter of fact, if I had this product in my car, I would have never missed the show. Mondo, I think I had asked you to look at this on the website. Did you look at that?
I did. I looked that up. Also did some additional research. Looks like a great product.
All right. So what I need you guys to do is contact the principal owners, find out a little bit more about the company. This is a green product, and that's what we need to bring to the audience. People are looking for things that are green.
Right.
Contact them. Let's get them on Jonathan Live. Okay?
Okay. All right. Sounds great. All right. All right. I think there's a list of some green things in here that you want to do.
Hey everyone, I'm Jonathan Live, and I want to welcome you to today's show where we have some extraordinary guests that are going to teach you how to embrace your journey. Today we have first Stephanie Hale, extraordinary business entrepreneur, author, speaker. Stephanie, it is so good to have you.
It's wonderful to be here.
One of the things that my grandfather had taught me was about persistence and not giving up. And that's so important when you're going after a dream, because the fact is that everyone comes to life where you have opportunities to get off the freeway. You have opportunities to stop. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely.
So when it comes down now to creating wealth in our life, and we're trying to embrace it, it doesn't fall out of the sky. In other words, there's a reason, there's a product, there is a service. In your opinion, I know that you publish books. What's one vehicle that all of our audiences out there and people that are viewing us today, they want to find out, what kind of vehicle can I use? Is it coaching? What is it? And I know that you do books. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I help authors to make more money from books, because there's a lot of best-selling writers. I have a lot of best-selling writers who are very well known. Outwardly, they look as though they're doing very well, but actually they're broke because they're going through traditional publishing houses.
I hate when that happens. You got a good book and you're darn broke.
Absolutely. Whereas I also have lots of multimillionaire and millionaire clients who are actually doing very well out of ebooks.
Okay.
So they're selling them online. They're not doing traditional publishing. They're actually selling to a wider audience, a huge worldwide audience, and they have control over their books.
Well, you know, that's interesting, because the fact that ebooks is the new kid on the block. I mean, they're here to stay. And one of the reasons why I think is because the fact is that the generation, the baby boomers, are kind of moving out now, and the new generation now is with their ebook readers, their iPads. Tell me a little bit more about the ebook phenomena that's happening.
Well, ebooks, one of the great things about them is people will pay indefinite amounts of money for them. If they've got a problem, they go online, they go on Google, they've usually got their credit card to hand quite close.
Yeah.
They put in certain keywords, and you can actually research those keywords. You can see what people are actually looking for. You can see the monthly volume, the global monthly volume.
What they're asking.
What they want, what do people want? That's the key thing that you want to know when you're setting up a business, any business.
Yeah.
And what writers need to do is actually research what it is that people are looking for. Are they looking for how to groom their dog? Are they looking for how to get rid of my toothache? Are they looking for how do I get rid of my gallstones? If that's what they're looking for in millions per month, you supply an ebook, and you supply the answer to that, you're going to have loads of people buying that ebook. And it's not like a traditional book where it's maybe $15. You can charge $60 for that book, and people will pay it because it will solve their pain and solve a problem for them.
It's kind of like specialized knowledge. Ebooks is the way to go. It's been an extraordinary time. We've got some amazing guests coming up. Stephanie Hale, it was a pleasure having you. I look forward to seeing you in the near future with us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Welcome to another edition of Jonathan Live. You know, people have asked me, what are the key secrets to success in life? Well, there's many, but the two I like is entrepreneurship and alignment. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about with our next guest, global strategist entrepreneur, Jenny Armato. Jenny, it is so good to have you today. I'm excited. You come all the way down from where? Tell us.
Melbourne, Australia.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah,
that is a long way. Yeah, there you go. So I know that you and I have talked in the past about entrepreneurship. You're doing a lot of great things, you know, in the world of business. But I like the idea about alignment because, you know, alignment is so important when it comes to business. You can have the right content or the right idea, the right intent with the wrong strategy. Yeah, and you don't get the right result. So tell me a little bit, what are your thoughts on alignment?
Well, alignment really starts from a sense of self-awareness. So before we get into our business and what we're pursuing in our professional life, it's really built around, well, let me explain a little bit about alignment and give you some comparisons.
Sure.
Alignment on a personal level is really looking at getting what your thoughts are, what your feelings are, what your words are, and what your actions are into alignment with one another.
Okay.
And a lot of us are running in an unconscious state, and we're wondering why things aren't quite working out the way we want them.
Sure.
And when we talk about intention, you know, quite often we can look at our thoughts. If we look at, say, the law of attraction, I think this is a good way to distinguish alignment. If we look at law of attraction, its premise is thoughts become things.
Yeah.
And around The Secret and the whole explosion of interest in the law of attraction, it also started to attract a lot of negativity because people are like, well, that's a bunch of woo-woo, and how can you just think about things and all of a sudden they materialise? And, you know, there's a lot of skepticism. Definitely confusion and a lot of skepticism around whether or not this thing actually really worked, or was it just a gimmick?
Sure.
You know, because for some people they could seem to have thoughts that did turn into things, and for other people that were doing the same things, supposedly they didn't. And it's because there were two key elements missing, that their thoughts and the things are only one aspect. So what sits next to the law of attraction and makes the law of attraction not only possible but powerful is what I'm calling the law of alignment.
Okay.
And this is if you like, it underpins the law of attraction, and it's the element that's been missing in the teachings, and why people haven't been able to turn their thoughts into things, because it's only two segments of the equation. You've also got your feelings and your actions and the words that you're speaking as well. And so the law of alignment looks at, okay, if thoughts become things, feelings become actions. And so it's when you put that four together and you are aware in a conscious state of when, more importantly, you're out of alignment, that's when you can figure out why things aren't working. So it's quite a breakthrough, the law of alignment, and I think it's actually going to be very helpful for a lot of people that are advocates of the concept of the law of attraction, but they haven't been able to work out how to make it work for them.
You're out there, you're wanting the answers. Jenny shared the answers that will revolutionize your life and your business. Jenny, thanks so much. It was great having you on.
Pleasure.
Yeah. So stay tuned. Our next guest is coming up and going to share some more dynamic things that's going to help you embrace your journey. Welcome back, everybody. Our next guest is an extraordinary woman. She is a healer, she is an author, and a well-known actress. Featured in 130 films. I want to tap into her brain and her genius. Welcome, Dee Wallace. Dee, it's so good to have you on our show, my dear. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, it's so good to be here.
And you are looking absolutely fabulous.
Thank you, darling.
Oh. So, Dee, let me ask you a question. You have accomplished so much in your life. What would be like the key secret or secrets of tapping into real life and embracing life so that we can live all the dreams that we wanted to live?
Be your authentic self. Thanks, it's been nice. Truly, I think that's the secret of everything. Be your authentic self, take responsibility for who you are, and create what you want.
Creation, you know, that's a good subject. Let me kind of tap into your thoughts about that. Let's talk about creation. How do we create our world?
Well, I don't think you can create your world until you create yourself, and I think that's where we all get tripped up. We're all looking for the stuff. How can I create the stuff? And you can't create the stuff until you create this stuff. And the whole point of creating the stuff out there is to be the stuff of happiness and joy and freedom within ourselves. And that should be enough. And the wonderful thing is when that's enough, then all the other stuff falls into place.
Wow. Now, does that kind of correlate with our healing? I know that you're a healer. Talk to me a little bit about that. Talk us a little bit about that.
Well, I think everybody's a healer. And I think the person that everybody can heal and must heal is himself.
Okay.
And until that happens, we are all connected. We are all part of the one. But until we heal ourselves, then the world doesn't get healed because we keep putting back non-healed us into the collective.
Yeah, just
and then
recycle.
And then the collective doesn't get healed. So you really start understanding what be the change you want to create in the world really means is if you want freedom, where are you not freedom? Within yourself, where are you not free? If you want unconditional love, are you loving yourself unconditionally?
Yeah.
Are you looking in the mirror and going, you're magnificent, you're amazing, you're beautiful, you're fabulous, and I love you. Let's go create a fabulous, amazing day, you know? And until we're never taught to love ourselves. We're just not taught to love ourselves. We're taught to love everybody else and even, you know, love your neighbor as yourself, but where is it around how you love yourself? So how can we love our neighbor as ourselves if we're not taught to love ourselves as the God that we are first?
Yeah. Well, how do we get to that point? Because, you know, we need to be our own best friends, but usually we're our worst enemies. How do we get to that point where we can love ourselves?
Well, I think the first thing is you have to accept yourself the way you are.
Okay.
You have to accept all energy if you're going to work with any of the energy. You can't say, I'm going to look away from it, I'm going to deny it, I'm going to judge it. Judgment is a big thing. We're all taught to judge ourselves. It doesn't work. Right. It doesn't work. You can't unconditionally love yourself and then go, I'm too fat, I'm too thin, I'm too old, I'm not smart enough. It doesn't compute. So then basically what we're saying to the universe is, okay, I'm not worthy, I'm not worthy, I'm not worthy. Could you give me everything I want, please? You know, and the universe is going, I don't get it. I hear your words, but your energy's entirely different. They don't match up. What do you want? It's like a director saying to me, all right, I want a really emotional scene. Dee, I want you to be really emotional. Don't cry. Or I want you to walk stage right, but you have to move left. They're conflicting directions.
No congruency.
And the universe is going to say, what?
Yeah.
Don't get it. Can't give you what you're asking for because you're not giving it to yourself.
You know, so I'd love to jump in and ask a question because you know me, I'm an interviewer by nature.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, do you know how much I love what you do? I absolutely adore your spirit and your heart. And my favorite thing about you is your authenticity. You are so true blue, true through and through. What do you think is the piece that brought you to this understanding that you can share with the listening audience?
Well, I think like a lot of the audience out there, I just got to the point in my life where I hated me. I was unhappy, I was a victim, I was angry, and I just dropped to my knees one day and said, I don't want to be this anymore. I want my light back. I want to be the bright light that Deanna Bowers from Kansas came in as. And it's like a big zipper opened up and all this information started coming in. And I literally heard the voice say, use the light within you to heal.
So what you did is you asked.
I am.
Ask and it will be given.
Let me tell you, I never knew how true that was.
Yeah. And people don't know how to ask.
Well, you know, let's just start with, I want to be happy, I want to be free, I want to be complete, I want to be joyful. And I want to put that back out into the world because that's the world I want to live in. Show me how, show me how, show me how. But you've got to start with you. And I think one of the biggest things we have to shift is quit pointing the finger to everybody else. You know, well, my mom did this to me, and my dad did that to me, and that business partner, you know, misused me or mishandled me, or my body broke down on me, so I can't, so I can't, so I can't. And we keep immersed in the poop. She loves this story.
This is a great
immersed. This is my poop. This is my poop. And you know, our poop happens to everybody, and we have to look away from the poop. But we don't. We don't go, oh, if there's all this poop, there must be a pony somewhere in me. We go, oh, it's my poop. How deep is it? And it's starting to smell, and look at the color. And then we have coffee with other people, and we talk about the poop instead of, okay, there was the poop. What do I want to create out of my poop now? I want to look away and create this gold that I want. This is the gold that I want. This is the beauty of me, the authentic love of me that I want to create in this world.
Wow, you know, that is so powerful. Because, again, it goes back to responsibility. And what you were talking about, really, the poop, is excuses. You know, someone told me a long time ago that excuses,
our stories.
Yes, excuses are like rear ends. Everyone has one and they all stink.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
She's going to use that one.
I am. I'm stealing it right now. But it's true. It's true. And when I do my healing sessions, you know, people start in on their stories. I go, I don't care. What do you mean you don't? I don't care. I'm not listening. I don't care. We're not putting any energy into the story. What do you want from this moment? This is the first moment that you create the rest of your life. All the sayings we start to understand, right? Yeah. So in this moment, do you want to keep holding on to my mother did that and creating the same stuff you've had in the last 40 years? Or do you want to go, you know what, my mom did the best she could. I bless her, I leave her. I'm the creation of me now. I am the creation of me now.
And maybe getting folks to say, in creating, this is the beginning of the rest of my life, how about this is the beginning of the best of my life?
Yeah, well, now wait. Hold on. Let's talk about that for a minute. Because I think it's all good, Kandee G. I do.
I agree.
I think it's all good. And I think every piece of jealousy, every fear I've ever had, every challenge that's been brought to me by me has brought me to the place I am now where I can go, you know, I chose that then. That's all it is. It's all creation, right?
And it's all to another place.
And yes. I learned there that that's not what I want, that I can choose something else. And so now I get to choose this and experience with this creation, right?
Agreed.
But I think it's so important that we just love ourselves for no matter where we are right now. Right. I think it's the cornerstone of absolutely everything. Because who do you want to give things to in your life? The people you love. The people you love unconditionally. I would do anything for my daughter. I would do anything for her and my brother. And you know, when we can love ourselves as much as the beloved people that we hold so dear to us, then we will know that we are there, if there is a there.
You know, Jim Rohn said one time that the highest mark of maturity is when we make no excuses when the harvest is little and no apologies when the harvest is great.
Oh, like that. Just like a child, you know.
Yes.
A child expects everything it asks for, you know, and it thinks it's just great to ask for everything until we teach it not to. I mean, when we came in as our bright lights, right, we went, yes, I want that toy, and I want that friend, and I want the sandbox. I don't want to get my sandbox to you. I'm playing in my sandbox. And then we were, don't do that. That's not nice. That's not good, little girls. You know, blah. And we got socialized. And then we get to 21, and we go, why can't I create my life? Because I'm so in fear of asking what I want, of claiming what I want, of being joyful about what I want, about being joyful about the big harvest, right? Not okay to have the big harvest. The humble people are the good people. You know, well, I think you can be humble in the grace of power. I do. And I think we're all meant to be gracefully powerful.
So many people are captive, and if they would just learn to understand about the truth.
Okay, so let's give it to them. What's the truth? What's the highest definition of truth in this moment? For me, it's divine love.
I have to absolutely 100% agree with you. It's all about loving or not loving.
Yeah.
It is.
It's it. Bottom line.
Divine love is total acceptance, no judgment, total acceptance, unconditional love, freedom, peace, joy. I mean, just the joy of being, not having or not having to do, but just I'm worthy and deserving and joyful because I am. Just because I am.
Yes. You know, and this is why we do these programs, to help you think about life and help you to embrace it. So as we come to a conclusion, Dee, let me just ask you this.
It's so bad.
The main thought that if somebody was sitting in front of you and just said, I really, really want a better life, what would you tell them?
Love yourself. That's what I would tell them.
Love ourselves.
Love yourself, love yourself, love yourself, love yourself more.
Wow. Well, I know you got a new book coming out. We're really excited about that. Yay! You know, and all of your accomplishments that you have done, we are just so delighted to have you here.
It's great to be here.
Yeah, it's so much fun. Our next guest, once again, is going to come in and we're going to be able to tap into their genius. You are learning a lot of information that if you grasp it, get it from here and internalize it, you will have an amazing life. We'll talk to our next guest right after this. So, Bob, let me ask you, has there ever been a time that you felt like giving up?
Lots of times.
Yeah, but you didn't.
No.
Tell us why not.
Well, it was never really an option. It just wasn't an option. Like, I've lost everything I had 3 different times. But the idea of quitting, I think probably I have so much of this information in me that quitting just wouldn't fit in my brain.
Yeah, and so no matter what obstacle came, you just keep going on.
But you see, way back around 1970, I made a commitment to myself that I'd read the chapter on persistence out of Think and Grow Rich once a day for 30 days, and I do that every year. And sometimes I've done it 2 and 3 times in a year. This year, I haven't done it yet. I'm going to do it next month. And I think when you burn that kind of information into your brain, then there's only one option, just keep going. And everyone runs into obstacles. Everyone has adversity. And when you studied long enough, you realize that the adversity is what enables you to grow. It's not the wins. I mean, you don't grow from winning. It's fun and it's nice and it's good to have. But there's no growth in winning. There's growth in losing and staying at it, because that's what causes you to draw the very best out of yourself. And so I think that's something everybody has to learn. But you see, the truth is most people don't keep going. They take a real hit and they quit. Advancement of all kinds is preceded by a crisis. And the greater the crisis, the greater the opportunity for advancement. Well, you've got to have a deep understanding of your own personality, your relationship to Spirit or to God, and you have to understand the laws. Otherwise, when the crisis hits, you fall. Well, I've come to the conclusion that the greater the crisis, the greater the opportunity. And so you just have to look in it. If there's only a little win, there's only a little loss. If there's only a little loss, there's only a little win, and vice versa. If there's a fairly big loss, there's a fairly big win. And I think when you get that straight in your head, you're pretty safe. You can keep going.
You can keep going.
Yeah.
Well, that is awesome. Folks, there you have it. If you just go on and keep pushing on, you will reach your dream. Bob, thanks so much. I appreciate it. Good to see you again.
My pleasure, Don. Thank you.
Excuse me. Jonathan, I read your book, and I was wondering if you would sign it for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you enjoy it?
I did.
Good.
It's a good book.
Who'd you like me to make it out to?
Emmanuel.
So, Emmanuel, do you have any dreams?
I do. I'd like to be the President of the United States. Yeah, you have any advice?
Well, my grandfather told me, never give up. It's good meeting you, Emmanuel.
Too. Thanks.